Hi everyone, my name is Olena and I'm a licensed immigration consultant. Today we will be talking about 3 things that will fail your Express entry profile. But before we do that, let me ask you to download the guide. You can find it in the link below. It's the guide that will help you tremendously in your Express entry profile. If you want to identify your correct knock number, you can do it in 5 easy steps by downloading the guide below. So what are the 3 main things which may impact your Express entry profile and maybe even fail your immigration? Number 1, do not clutter your Express entry profile with irrelevant information. 2 main mistakes that people do. Number 1 is work history. In your work history section, you're supposed to put only work experiences that you would like to count your points for. So you would like to claim CRS Express entry points for those work experiences. Do not put your part-time job during your college in Canada or overseas. Do not put your experience that is in NOC C or NOC D, because as we know, it's not counted towards your CRS. So put only work experience that is actually bringing you those CRS score. And most importantly, is that that work experience that you can prove, because after you get your invitation to apply, you will have to provide documents that prove your points, meaning prove your work experience that you input in your work history section. Another mistake that people do is cluttering education section. In your education section, only put the education that was evaluated with WES or other authorized organization, and don't put your high school, don't put any other education that was not evaluated, and put only Canadian education that is actually eligible for points under Express entry program. What is the second top thing that can fail your Express entry profile? The second thing is your Canadian education and how you actually enter the information in the Canadian education section. One tip, people do this mistake all the time. At least 70% of Express entry profiles that I've seen from people that had Canadian education, they made that mistake. When you go to the section of education, you input the dates of Canadian education, your college, the fact that it was in Canada, the length of the program, and then the one question before last will actually ask you, was more than half of your program is English or French as a second language? And listen to this carefully, was more than half of your program English or French as a second language? And if you studied the academic course here in Canada, whether it is diploma or certificate, postgraduate certificate, the answer to this question would be no. The question essentially is just asking you, did you study an academic program that led to diploma, certificate, or degree, or you just learned English? Because if you learned English, the answer would be yes, and that education would not be eligible to bring you those extra points. So be careful with that question. If you received your postgraduate work permit based on your Canadian education, then the answer to that question would be no. So third top thing that can fail your Express entry profile, and this is actually the most important thing. Don't do guesswork. Don't try to guesstimate the dates. Don't try to guesstimate your work experience dates or even your education dates, because that can bring you to big trouble when you finally receiving your invitation to apply and you're ready to apply for PR, but all of a sudden you realize that information that you entered in your initial Express entry profile was incorrect. And maybe instead of 3 years of foreign experience, all of a sudden it's 2 years and 8 months. And guess what? That would be a huge problem when filing your PR application. And I'm not even talking here about misrepresentation, because misrepresentation can be a huge thing in this case. So when you're filing express entry profile, make sure that you're putting correct and verified information, because that information that you're submitting to Canadian government, you're submitting to IRCC, will be recorded, and that information will be reviewed by the officer when you're applying for your permanent residence after you receive your invitation to apply. So good luck to everyone, and don't forget to download my knock code guide. If you're not sure what your knock code is, or you just simply need to verify what your knock code is, you can go down to the link and download your knock code guide. It's absolutely free. Enjoy it, and good luck to everyone.